Live from the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
It has already reshaped the San Francisco skyline, but today, just in time for the grand opening, we are getting an exclusive view from the very top of the Salesforce Tower.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michelle Griego.
And I'm Kenny Choi. We have team coverage on the grand opening of the Salesforce Tower and Mackovic with official ceremonies on the ground. Neda Iranpour is at the top of the tower, but let's start with Ann.
Yeah, we are here in the courtyard at Mission and Fremont Streets in San Francisco's Soma neighborhood, and there is a ceremony going on behind me. It's been going on for about an hour, and it's going to continue on. They say it's the longest press conference for the largest building west of the Mississippi. Any way you slice it, Salesforce Tower is a behemoth. Standing at 1,070 feet, it's the tallest building west of the Mississippi by architectural height. It also has the deepest foundation.
In this building, we actually drilled into the bedrock so that we could socket the building in and lock it in tight.
As opposed to the sinking and leaning Millennium Tower nearby, which isn't built as deep. Salesforce has 61 stories, and at the crown of the tower, a 9-story electronic sculpture that will feature abstract, low-resolution images of San Francisco, videos taken on the streets each day and projected at night. Also at the top, a system designed to use the weather to the building's advantage.
When everything condenses here, it's just like a big giant redwood tree. Everything condenses, it falls down through the grates, goes down to the roof, and then collects in a storage tank down in the basement and gets reused through the building for irrigation.
It's one of several state-of-the-art systems for water, electricity, heat, and air conditioning, all fully computerized and installed on springs to limit vibrations to the rest of the building. And then there are the elevators.
They travel at 1,400 feet a minute because of the height that they're serving. They're serving the uppermost floors of the building.
Right now, only 10 floors of the Salesforce Tower are occupied out of a total of 61. Full occupancy may be another year off.
Everyone who lives here as well, and to the men and women that work to
and there will be ceremonies here all evening long. We're going to be live here, and then at 9 o'clock, a fireworks show. That is going to be a lot of fun. So stick around. We're hoping the weather's going to cooperate. Live in San Francisco, Ann Mackovic, KPIX 5.
All right, Ann, thank you. Now let's get to Neda, who's up in rarefied air at the tip top of the Salesforce Tower. Neda, how's it looking from way up there?
It's very impressive up here, Kenny. If anyone's afraid of heights, this is not the place to be, but we are very lucky to be up here. Exclusive access to the tower. Now, there's a lot going on downstairs, but there's plenty going on upstairs as well. So Ann mentioned the fireworks show today at 9 p.m. They've been preparing for this since early this morning, getting ready for that show. They're going to set fireworks off of the tower here from 1,070 feet up top. So we also have exclusive cameras that are set up here. The only station in the Bay Area to have this view for you. So these cameras tilt, they pan, they zoom. We have 4 of them set up so you can get all different angles of the Bay Area. We will stream them for you live, and it will give you a perspective of all across the North Bay, the East Bay, the South Bay. We're very proud to be able to show this to you because, of course, we have all kinds of microclimates that we want to show you. And right now, the cloud coverage starting to lift a little bit. So our photographer, Rick, is literally leaning over the edge at 1,070 feet up. He is very brave. Yes, he's also roped as well to make sure that he's safe. But you can see the tiny streets down there. Those tall towers definitely look a lot smaller, including the Transamerica Pyramid. But luckily, the cloud coverage is kind of moving around a little bit to clear up for you guys. We can see Coit Tower out there, Alcatraz, yes, across the bay. Not quite to Marin, but it's there. After all this burns off, you'll see some really impressive views. So on a nice clear day, you'll be able to see miles and miles of the Bay Area thanks to these exclusive cameras that you'll only see on KPIX. We're the only news station to be up here and to have the cameras up here. We have a microwave setup as well, and that's what will provide you that live stream. Now, I believe we can show you the view from the camera that's set up at the top here. So Rick's giving you the live camera view, and we also have the view from the actual camera that he zoomed into. Of course, on a clear day, we cannot wait to give you that perspective. All morning, it's been very cloudy, so we're really really grateful that we're seeing a little bit of a break in the cloud coverage. It's also a little bit warmer, which is great news. We do have your full forecast coming up in just a little bit. We'll talk more about the microclimates that go on up here in the tower. It's really, really fascinating. We're literally up high in the sky. I'll send it back to you, Michelle.
All right, Netta, thanks so much. Right now, Hayward police are investigating a shooting that injured an officer and one suspect. KPIX 5's Jessica Flores has the latest from the scene.
The shooting happened at 7 p.m. here on Hewitt Place near Coleman Avenue. Police this morning say that officer fired her weapon in self-defense. Hayward police shut down the street for more than 10 hours. Investigators say the officer shot and injured a suspect, and the officer was hurt in the confrontation as well. The officer suffered a non-life-threatening injury, and she has been released from the hospital. The suspect is still in the hospital. Police haven't released any details about why officers were initially called to the neighborhood or what led up to the shooting. But neighbors say chaotic moments followed the sounds of gunshots.
I just heard the shots fired. I just heard, and then I told my dad to close the door, our front door, because we didn't know if somebody was running.
15 other police cars just started coming in. The officers were jumping out, running to the end of the cul-de-sac. And I came outside to see what was going on, and one of them said, "Stay inside."
The officer felt that she was in fear for her safety and in self-defense discharged her firearm.
In Hayward, Jessica Flores, KPIX 5.
A developing story we are watching in San Jose. PG&E crews working to repair a busted gas line. Construction workers hit the line this morning at Williams and South Winchester. No one was hurt, but you can look for traffic delays in that area.
Disturbing new video out of Castro Valley showing a canine mauling a suspect who was already in handcuffs. Alameda County Sheriff's Office says that this happened just after 2 a.m. on Monday after they arrested the suspect for DUI on B Street. And according to the sheriff, one of the deputies accidentally bent down, hit a button on his vest that opens the canine door remotely, and that's when the canine ran out and attacked that suspect. The suspect received multiple stitches on his leg but is expected to be okay. New details in the murder of a Maryland police officer allegedly run over by a teenage suspect. It happened yesterday in Baltimore County when 29-year-old officer Amy Caprio was responding to a call of a burglary. Police say that's when 16-year-old Dante Harris allegedly hit Officer Caprio with a black Jeep. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. 3 other teenagers have also been charged in connection to this case.
South Korea's president flew to Washington, D.C. in an attempt to save a planned summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. CBS reporter Angelica Alvarez is at the White House with more.
South Korean President Moon Jae-in is at the White House today in an attempt to keep the North Korean summit with the U.S. on track.
Is this summit with North Korea on June 12th going to happen?
Well, as the president often says, Martha, we'll see.
North Korea raised the prospect of canceling the summit over objections to joint U.S.-South Korean military exercises and remarks made by the National Security Advisor John Bolton when he compared Trump's plan to the Libya model.
I think we're looking at the Libya model of 2003-2004. We're also looking at what North Korea itself has committed to previously.
Libya's government collapsed 8 years later after giving up its nuclear weapons, and leader Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown. North Korean state media issued a statement today saying dialogue and saber-rattling can never go together and will chill the atmosphere before the planned U.S.-North Korean summit. The White House says President Trump is still committed to holding that summit on June 12th, but will walk away if North Korea isn't ready to completely abandon its nuclear program.
What the president's made clear is that we need complete and verifiable and irreversible denuclearization.
The U.S. plans to keep up all economic and military pressure on Pyongyang. Just today, the USS Milius, an advanced guided missile destroyer, arrived in Japan to protect against any ballistic missile attacks by North Korea. Angelica Alvarez, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump has said he is willing to give Kim Jong-un assurances the U.S. will not overthrow his government if it agrees to a deal.
24 reporters from the U.S. and several other countries have landed in North Korea to witness the planned dismantling of the nuclear test site. CBS is the only U.S. broadcast network in that group of reporters. The group has to travel into the mountains for the ceremony at the Punggiri nuclear site. The trip is expected to take 11 hours by train, 4 hours on a bus, and then a 1-hour hike to that site. Coming up, Pope Francis's stunning comments to a gay man that may open the door to a new level of acceptance in the Catholic Church.
And another look from our exclusive live cameras at the top of the Salesforce Tower. Our very own Netta Iranpour is back with the forecast from the very top. Pope Francis is receiving praise for his reported comments to a gay man. Reporter Charlie D'Agata on why the LGBT community says this is another sign that the Pope wants to make gay people feel welcome in the Catholic Church.
Juan Carlos Cruz was a victim of Chile's most notorious abusive priest, and Pope Francis invited Cruz to the Vatican this month to offer a heartfelt apology.
I really met a man that is sincere.
Cruz, who is gay, says his conversation with the Pope quickly moved from abuse to the nature of homosexuality.
He immediately said to me, look, Juan Carlos, God loves you that way. God made you that way. The Pope loves you, and you have to love yourself.
The Vatican declined to comment on the private conversation, but if confirmed, it would be a substantial statement of tolerance toward homosexuality.
And gay people that I don't even know have been writing to me and said, did he really say that to you? And I said, yes. He said, well, that is changing my life.
The Catholic Church teaches gays should be respected, loved, and not discriminated against, but considers homosexual activity intrinsically disordered. Pope Francis has tried to make the church more welcoming to gays, most famously with his comment 5 years ago, "Who am I to judge?"
He's really reaching out to LGBT people, and even though this doesn't change the teaching, it changes the approach of the church.
Cruz says bishops used his sexual orientation as a weapon to try to discredit his claims. He says he hopes the Pope's comments will lead to the end of a culture of abuse and cover-up. Charlie D'Agata, CBS News, London.
Some new video out of Hawaii shows lava making its way towards a power plant near the Kilauea volcano. Right now, emergency crews are racing to protect the geothermal power plant on the Big Island. They say that lava could trigger the release of a deadly hydrogen sulfate gas. Meantime, hundreds of evacuees have been forced from their homes for nearly 3 weeks now. One homeowner says that officials made him leave days before he should have.
They wouldn't let anybody in. And now that there's probably 130 acres covered in lava. There's down power poles, cracks in all the roads, fissures coming everywhere. Now they're letting people in.
And officials say that the eruption has already destroyed more than 40 buildings and forced more than 2,000 people to evacuate on that island.
It is time for a check of our weather with Netta Iranpour, who is braving the heights and live atop the Salesforce Tower. How's the weather up there? We know it's different from down here.
It definitely is different from down there. It's windier, it's cool up here. We're literally in a cloud, but at least the cloud is starting to break up a little bit. It's not as foggy as it was early this morning. Now, it was quite a process to get up here. You go up the 61 stories of business office space that they have set up, but we're actually on top of the crown of the Salesforce Tower. So we want to show you this exclusive look inside that crown. That's what you see when you look way up top. Now you can look at the cooling system that's set up right there. There was an elevator we took to get up here as well. And the engineers work inside this building have said they have seen all kinds of microclimates, extreme weather conditions. It could be dry on the streets of San Francisco, but raining in here because of the thermal action that goes on. So they actually see a lot more condensation than what we might see out across San Francisco. But I do want to talk about your current forecast on the streets because not many people are up here, just us. We're like the only news station, in fact, to be up here. And there's a crew setting up for the fireworks show. So let's show you what's going on on outside where you are. Temperature-wise, we are looking at 52 degrees for San Francisco. Hey, that live shot is from the Transamerica Pyramid of Salesforce Tower. We are waving. Not sure if you can see us, but yes, we are at the very, very top. It is, of course, covered in that cloud. Livermore, temperature-wise, we're at 64, 54 in Oakland. It has not warmed up at all right around the bay. We're definitely dealing with cool conditions. Those west winds are also picking up. SFO 11 miles per hour. Half Moon Bay also at 11. Downtown San Francisco 12. And now Concord, it's picking up a lot to 18 mile per hour sustained winds. Fairfield, you're at 20. West winds are what's pushing in that cloud coverage further out east. So it's starting to break apart a little bit in places like Concord and Livermore. Things will warm up a little there. Same within Fairfield. Our sunset happening tonight at 8:18. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 5:53. Expect another morning with that thick cloud for coverage yet again. High temperatures this afternoon only going to be in the upper 50s along the coast. We're looking at low 70s for inland areas across the South Bay, 74. And then East Bay temperatures are actually in the low to mid 70s if you're in Antioch and Brentwood. But cooler in Danville, cooler in Vallejo at 69 degrees. And right around the bay, we're hovering right around the low 60s there. Wine Country also only in the low 70s. So below average today. We do have a chance of rain at the end of the week. Temperatures will continue to drop. You can see that in the 7-day forecast. By Friday, we're only going to be in the 50s and 60s all around our area, even the inland areas. And then look at that Memorial Day weekend. It's looking lovely. Sunshine, temperatures reaching the 70s and 80s. So overall, we're going to do a little dip in our temperatures, see some rain, and then we're going to see that sun. And here's a look from our exclusive camera set up right here at Salesforce Tower. This is the view of the Bay Bridge. You can definitely tell that overcast is definitely blocking part of the bridge, but it is an impressive view. When we have clear conditions out there, you'll be able to see all the way across to the East Bay. And right now live, this is the camera that we're actually able to view the Bay Bridge from. So we have 4 of those set up all around the tower here to bring you the exclusive looks, and you'll be able to see them every day on KPIX 5. I'll send it back to you.
All right, awesome job out there, Netta. Thank you. Well, as gas prices continue to rise, more Americans are planning staycations near home instead of road trips this summer. According to a summer travel survey by GasBuddy.com, 58% of respondents say that they'll take a road trip this summer, and that's down a lot from 82% last year. Gas prices are nearing the $4 mark in the Bay Area. In San Francisco, a gallon of regular will cost you $3.84. It's slightly lower in Oakland, $3.74, and then $3.73 in San Jose.
Oh, they've gotten a bad rap due to cholesterol concerns, but there might be a new health benefit for those who eat an egg a day.
And we want to invite all you pet lovers to send us your questions about their health and well-being. Email us, pets@kpix.com, and we'll have our pet expert give you an answer every Friday here at noon.
And another live look from the top of the Salesforce Tower in downtown San Francisco. It is foggy out, so it's hard to see the city, but cool shots anyway, and this is exclusive to KPIX 5. We'll be right back.
All right, guess what? An egg a day might actually reduce your risk for heart disease and stroke.
It's good. I love eggs. That is according to a study led by researchers from Peking University. It looked at data on egg consumption by more than 500,000 people in China. Well, the study found that the risk of heart disease and stroke was lower among people who ate an egg a day than those who didn't consume eggs at all. So,
crack that egg.
Yeah, crack that egg.
Enjoy your lunch.
We'll be right back.
Well, today's tip of the day is going to be with rosemary. You know, I use rosemary in so many different recipes, with chicken, with potatoes, with steaks, with you just name it. Rosemary is so versatile. It goes great in so many different recipes. But selection and storage is very, very important. When you buy them, you want to make sure they're green like this all the way around. And they got to feel nice and fresh. And you got to be able to get that aroma from that rosemary. That's also very important. When you bring them home, store them in the refrigerator, but just for a couple days. That's it. A lot of times I leave them on the counter, but I use them up so fast that I don't need to refrigerate it. But don't store them for too long, because this wonderful freshness, that feel, will get kind of firm on you. And it'll start to feel like pine needles, and they're not going to taste good whatsoever. Rosemary. Summertime, well, summer's coming. Springtime, you could use this all the way through the summer into the fall, year-round. It is spring, I know that. I'm 2010 till you're fresh, cousin. And always remember to eat fresh and stay healthy. I think of this stuff, I think of summer. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Love it.
Yeah, Six Flags Discovery Kingdom just welcomed an adorable addition.
Yeah, the park now has a baby sea lion. Take a look at this cutie. The pup was born on Sunday, and Six Flags posted these pictures of the newborn basking in the sun with its 4-year-old mama named Peebles. No word on the newborn's name just yet or its gender, but I think we can agree. Cute.
Very cute. Is it Peebles or Pebbles?
I don't know. You tell me. Whoa.
Whoa.
That means we have to say goodbye.
That's our cue. All right. Well, we are out of here, but take a last look from Salesforce Tower.